Gotta say, she can't choke, she don't know what to do.
She's gotta go. Bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we some villains.
I love it up, get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab a shot on the top of shots, I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes? Simon telling you what to do. Follow my commando, hit in a bando, trap in a bando, not like a Rambo. Rocky, Sylvester, Solo.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. I am your host, Brian Barnaby, and Tony is in town.
What's going on, baby?
Tony?
Tony Montana. Man, hanging in there.
You know, I feel better for some reason.
I wonder why, Barnes.
You seem a little tight.
Yeah, you're glowing, dude. It's not just the lights either.
And always, our super producer, Mike. What's going on, man?
Hello, world.
Oh, they're classic.
You like that? I think I'm gonna
as
stick
always,
with that.
Yeah.
we will be joined in a little bit by Grasso to talk some NBA.
Can't wait.
And I'd also like to
can't
just
wait.
give a special shout out to those watching on Optimum and Frontier, powered by Soundview Community Media. Thank you for tuning in, and the channels are listed in the bio. And now we will get into the world of Major League Baseball.
Giving chase at Judge, and he dives into the stand.
DeGrom begins the season with an overpowering strikeout of Ronald Acuna.
The wall is gone! 3-run home run! What's going on here? I love it. He drives one to the moon. High, deep, and very gone.
Yes,
Yes.
dude. High, deep,
Love it.
and very gone.
Some good feels, and you know, there was some good feels in New York last night. The Yankees, the losing streak is over. They finally win a game. They defeat the Braves 3-1. And, you know, I have to say, on
Sick
the
theme song.
pitching side of things, very happy. You know, Montgomery's had maybe one good start. Other than that, no other starter besides Cole has really given them anything. So I know it was only 5 innings, but Tyone, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 Ks. You know, he only throws 80 pitches. I think he could have pitched another inning, but I honestly think Boone wanted to be like, okay, he struggled last start. Let's get him out. A clean start.
Right.
Feels good. More momentum. I just thought his stuff was working.
Yeah, it was. But I will say, I think Boone made probably the best decision of the season so far, because obviously pulling in the bullpen came in hot, dude. They held it down for sure.
Yeah, and the bullpen's been hot all season. You know, they go 4 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, 5 Ks. And the key, you know, Tyone included, they did such a good job of, you know, avoiding big innings and pitching out of trouble. Tyone had let up those back-to-back doubles with 1 out, settles down, gets out of the inning. And then the Braves also had the bases loaded. They got out of that situation. And, you know, even at the end of the game, Chapman came in. You know, he allowed that walk with 2 outs. And, you know, you allow the tie run on base. I mean, we've seen crazy things happen before. You know, you're 1 swing away. So it was nice to see them, you know, just settle it down. And from a pitching perspective, you know, I'm very happy, especially Chapman, because we've seen early in the season, you know, I know we always talk the weather, velocity usually is down for him.
Right.
It's up, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's almost thrown as many 100+ mile an hour pitches as he did all of last season.
He's on fire, dude. He's looking real nice.
Yeah, and
Love
I
to see
think
it
it was only his 2nd save. I mean, when you're 6-10, I guess you don't get too many save opportunities.
True.
But yeah, so I mean, I just really was optimistic, you know, about the bullpen, and it was funny. Lucas Licky, you know, they brought him in to follow up Tyone in the 6th, and I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing? I mean, short sample size, but he's got a 6 ERA, barely made the team, but you know, he did all right. And then, you know, once he walked that leadoff guy in the 7th, you know, they bring in Chad Green. He gets him out of it. And I've liked what I've seen out of Jonathan Loaizaga, a kind of a failed starter, but looks like his stuff in the bullpen really plays.
Yeah, man. Oh, I could only imagine watching you watch this game. I bet you were sweating the whole time, cursing. And oh, dude. But, bro, I mean, it's nice that they got the win. I mean, you said it earlier, a win's a win. I think
Even though it was
The Braves really shot themselves in the foot on this one, dude. Like we mentioned, they had plenty of opportunities to score some runs. And then 8th inning, Clint Frazier or Aaron Hicks scores on a wild pitch. And then there's a walk and LeMahieu scores in. And that was the game, dude. Like, yeah, dude, it was definitely the Braves game to lose, and they did. But gotta give it to the Yankees. Their pitching was.
I see no passion.
You see no passion
from the Yankees. They just see no passion from this team.
I see the passion.
Who are they playing for?
In Gio Urshela. So he goes 2 for 3, hits that long home run. I believe it was in the 5th inning, dead center field, and that really lifted them up. And I know they didn't score until later in the game, but it's just. He's had a pretty good start to the season, when there's not many positives to go around on the offensive side of the ball.
Watch your hand there, bud. Wider side. What?
Watch your hand, bud. Just making a joke.
Dude, who brought this guy in here, man?
So, I was happy about Urshela, but you look at the rest of the team, 3 for 26, no extra base hits. They have the second lowest team batting average in the major leagues, 208. The lowest is at the Cubs. I think they're
147 or something.
Yeah, something insane. So obviously, like I said, very happy from a pitching perspective, but offense, we're still in the same spot. But the only good kind of feel I have is sometimes just a tough, grinded out win can propel you to bigger things going forward.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're getting the win, so that's going to be a positive no matter what. I mean, a win is a win, right? They're going to have some momentum, and, hopefully they can kind of pull it up for tonight as well with Kluber pitching.
I don't see it.
And I know, this is a tough question. So like you said, Kluber is pitching, going against Ian Anderson, the young pitcher for the Braves, 635 on yes. I know this is a very tough question, but are you more confident in 5 runs from the Yankees or 5 innings from Kluber?
5 innings from Kluber, I think, dude. Come on, bro. 5 runs from the Yankees. That's asking for a lot.
But I think, they're pretty comparable. If you
it is pretty comparable. But I mean, I've said it on yesterday's episode as well. I think Kluber is going to be really dialed in here, given that he's had a pretty slow start to the season and he knows a lot is riding on this start, especially with the Yankees finally getting a win. Let's see what he can do on the mound tonight. And of course, I think whether or not Acuna plays, I think will play a big role as well. I know he's doubtful for tonight.
Yeah, I would think he probably gets held out.
Yeah, I would think so too. But yeah,
early. And it's funny too, because remember how a couple of days ago we had talked about how they had to announce the starters, and with the Yankees, traveling to Cleveland for this 4-game set, you would have thought, oh, maybe they want Kluber to kind of have his return to Cleveland, get a start, but they're probably thinking he's pitched bad enough. We don't need him getting emotional.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
So yeah, I mean. It's just so early. So, I mean, I've been very down on Kluber just because I haven't seen it yet. But, boy, if he were to string together a start, I mean, that would really just pick up the team.
Now's the time. Yeah, dude. Now's the time. I feel it.
We really need – and, it's pathetic because it's just such a short amount of time. But we really just need what Taillon did with the 5 innings from Kluber tonight. And even if he gives up 2 or 3 at the most, but 3 the way the team's
I was going to say, 3 might be pushing it. But I don't think 5 innings, good innings from Kluber is like a big ask, dude. No. I think he can pull it out.
So, and I mean, the bullpens pitch well, and it's only going to get better once Britton gets back. But I know the offense will pick it up, but I think just as the season goes on, you really would think they might want to add another reliever to this mix because you're going to need to go to the bullpen a lot if you're getting 5 innings out of your starting pitch.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Who would they add? Who do they have that they can bring up?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough question. I mean, I kind of like, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but when Severino comes back, I want Debbie in the rotation and have Herman in the bullpen, honestly. I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
I think, I like him as, like I said before, that Ramiro Mendoza type of role, spot starts, kind of middle relief. I just think he would pitch well, and I just think Garcia, we don't want to mess around with him in the bullpen. He's too young. Let's develop a starting pitching, but other than Severino, who has had greatness but hasn't proven it over an extended period, they haven't developed a starter. I mean, Montgomery, we're hoping is going to get there, but Debbie's so young. This is your opportunity to have a starting pitcher on the Yankees for 15 plus years, which, I mean, what was the last guy, Andy Pettitte?
Yeah, right. Wow, dude, a managerial check from Barnes over here, man. Hey, I like it, dude. Barnes is making good moves. Hire him. And
I do just think too, I mean, it's just a matter of time. Anderson, I mean, I think it could go either way because he has the stuff, he has the high velocity, but also being a younger pitcher, prone to mistakes. So maybe they run into a couple fastballs and that kind of – because I do think they just need one game where they just score 10 runs, and then that'll just really ensue, confidence in the whole team at the plate. Right now, besides Urshela, and LeMahieu did have 2 hits last night. So besides them two, not much confidence. I mean, Judges had his spots, but overall, I think, the average is low. Stanton's hits him out, but just no consistency. And it's just for someone that's so good like Stanton, the talent-wise, not that he's proven it, I just don't get why it's so hard for him not to strike out. I really just don't understand it.
Because he just doesn't have talent.
But, But, you know what I mean?
He's got talent. Yeah, I guess so. But it's interesting because I feel like, like you said, Anderson, I think will make some mistakes, but it's really more about the Yankees capitalizing on those. Right. We've seen it this season where pitchers are making mistakes and they're just not hitting the ball, dude.
Right.
Like they're just.
I think they have the yips, Barnes.
And I think I want to see, some hit and run, maybe try to steal some bases with Tauchman or Gardner if he's going to play. I mean, even if you had to, Hicks could steal a base, but I think they're actually talking about they want to work through his mechanics, so he might actually sit out another game. But
all right, it works.
Yeah, I mean, Gardner didn't answer the bell last night, but who knows? Maybe tonight.
Maybe we'll have the grand slam tonight, dude.
Oh man,
another opportunity.
Just the amount of haven't even looked at the league leaders and stuff, but as a team, I mean, the amount of home runs that the Yankees have hit. I mean, it's feels like they've hit zero. That's what it really feels like. Crazy. So really looking forward to that. And, before the week started, it looked like tonight, might be a rain out, but I guess kind of get the rain over early. And if anything, I think maybe a little delayed start, but when you have a 6:35 start,
you'll be fine.
Start at 8, who cares?
Yeah, really.
So I think they'll get that in, and they need to get it in because Braves only trip to New York, obviously, this season to play the Yankees. So looking forward to it. 6:35 on Yes. Now, for the other team in New York, the run is over. Tony is tight. Mets fall to the Cubs, 3-1.
Still have a way better theme song than the Yankees.
Lindor 0 for 4, grounds out with the bases loaded against Craig Kimbrell. And he's sporting a 171 batting average this season, 0 home runs. What do you got, Tony?
I mean, dude, this game honestly was pretty crazy, dude. I mean, a lot of things went wrong for the Mets. You mentioned about Lindor grounding out with the bases loaded. Earlier in the game, I think it was the top of the second, McCann had left 2 runners in scoring position. I mean, that was an opportunity right there to kind of set the tone for the game, get some early runs in. On top of that, Walker was pretty lights out in the beginning, dude. I think he struck out 5 of the first 10 batters. He was throwing some great stuff, but we just couldn't capitalize. There was no bats, dude. There was no bats at all. And then after that, McCann left 2 runners in scoring position, bottom of the third. You have a botched routine ground ball. I think Davis got a throwing error. It was like a low throw to Alonso, 2 outs. Smirk. He's so happy. He loves it. So happy. I mean, Alonso could have came up with the ball, but they gave the throwing error to Davis, and the guy on second scored. Never hesitated. There was 2 outs, so he was just running. And then right there, it's 1-0. They're feeling down on themselves, and they just never really came back from that. And on top of that, I don't know, maybe if the ump, was celebrating some 420 action, but John Lipka was having some pretty questionable calls behind home plate, dude, and. I think it was bottom 4. Fucking Taijuan walks the bases loaded, and he's livid right now. You see it on his face, and he ends up walking a runner in, and he is so tight. I think it was a 1-2 count, and I mean, I don't know. It could have went either way, honestly. It was a low ball for sure, but he gets the 2-2, and then there's a check swing on the 2-2 pitch. It looked like he went around, and it really did, and then that was it, dude. He walks him. And he's livid. He gets taken out, but it's like that right there. I think at that point they were only down 1-0. You walk a run in, you're down 2-0, and then on top of that, Rojas comes out, takes out Walker. It just ruins the whole feel of the game. They looked pretty depleted after that. Taijuan had some choice words for John Lipka. He ends up getting thrown out of the game. I can only imagine what he said. But yeah, dude, just from there, we had no bats. Even Rojas got thrown out as well. There's another botched call. This one was bad, dude. I feel like it was definitely a ball. Calls Conforto out. and Rojas is livid. You saw the whole dugout was screaming at him, man. So it was tough, dude. Tough game, tough loss. Yeah, dude. Just we didn't have bats. The pitching was good, dude. Honestly, our pitching was solid, but we didn't do what I said we should do, which is just keep rolling with our offense. We had no offense. Our defense was a little shoddy. But you know what, dude? It's a long season.
Back to reality.
Games like this happen, you know. The Yankees steal a kind of shoddy win, you know. Mets have an unfortunate loss. It's going to happen this season, right? So I'm not really that worried about it. I mean,
I have a quick question for you guys.
What's that?
You baseball fans.
What do we got?
You guys should place a bet. Who's going to finish with a better record and better season, Yankees or Mets?
I mean, we know that we're both up to the task for that. I mean, that's not a problem.
Yeah, really, dude.
We got to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah,
about
we'll talk, dude.
about it.
I like that.
But you know what, dude? I mean, we saw what we wanted to see from Walker, which is good. Offense is kind of shoddy, which, I mean, it's been pretty shoddy throughout the season. Just obviously recently we've had a nice go ahead with it. But I mean, we got to see some more from Lindor, man. Like, he's our big guy. And like we mentioned, he was over 4 last night, 171 batting average. That can't happen.
That is pathetic.
I mean, it's very small sample size, but it almost remind you of Beltran's first year with the Mets, kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully, I mean, you know, yeah, I can see that. Beltran did start slow as well. I feel like he didn't have enough, like, as much hype to him, though, you know? I don't know, dude. Lindor comes in, Mr. Smile, you know, he's
face of the league.
But think about when the Mets got Beltran, it was right after he had that great run with Houston. I mean, he was pretty sought after in the free agent market.
No, yeah,
he gets
definitely.
a big contract at that time. I don't even know what it was, probably less than $100 million, but
yeah,
very big at that point. And I think he ended up making the All-Star team, but maybe hit 18 home runs after hitting 40 plus in that split season between the Royals and the Astros. So kind of just reminds me of that. And if you look at it, big names, big contracts coming over, a lot of them struggle. And I think Mookie Betts is the outlier. Honestly,
oh yeah, for sure.
He lit it up with the Dodgers, of course, last season. But you know, we just see it a lot. That first year is very tough, high expectations. Bryce Harper,
yeah, true. Bryce Harper. So hopefully maybe he'll come around. You know, as the season progresses. You know, tonight is probably a great opportunity for him. You know.
Yeah. I mean, going against Zach Davies, and they have their Cy Young candidate, David Peterson, on the mound.
Love to see it.
You know, we mentioned, you know, the Cubs, their hitting woes this year, so really sets up for the Mets.
Exactly, dude. And, you know, we're looking to see Peterson coming out just like he did in his second outing, which would be great. And then hopefully we can get some bats behind him and score some early runs. Hopefully, you know, same game plan as usual.
Yeah. And I mean, are you just in the slightest a little nervous about Lindor, though, just because he was coming off the down year in the shortened season?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think it's in the back of everyone's head, really. But, you know, his bat will come around, dude. It's a long season.
I think it would be hilarious if it was just like a wasted.
Who are you, dude?
I think it'd be funny.
It'd be funny if he is unsuccessful. Chris Davis. Yeah. No, definitely, dude.
I mean, I think it'd just be so like typical Mets.
And then what if Rosario and Jimenez were 10-time All-Stars and the Indians win 3 World Series in the next 15 years?
Oh, I'd love that, dude. I'd love that.
Nah, but honestly, I think Lindor will be fine. I mean, and we see this. We see this every year. It's that the pitchers are ahead of the hitters early in the season. I mean, the bats are going to break out, and the weather's getting nicer, but it's going to get even warmer. And when it's 80, 90 degrees on a New York night, we know the ball's going to fly out of the ballpark.
So I'm not crazy worried. Like we mentioned, you know, the bats will come around. It happens. So
yeah,
I'm not worried. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, we'll see. 7:40 on SNY tonight. So definitely check those, you know, games out. And you know, just some other quick notes here. And we were tracking it live yesterday. How about in the Dodgers and Mariners game? 1-0 final. 3 hits combined. Both teams. We think the Yankees can't hit.
Right.
I mean, 3 hits in a baseball game. I mean,
it's crazy, especially for something like a team like the Dodgers, you know, and even the Mariners. They've been scoring pretty decently, you know. So yeah, I guess Julio Urias, huh, dude?
Yeah.
And even Gonzalez, for the Mariners.
And Gonzalez, a guy who I thought sucked.
Yeah, right? Like, really, who is he? You know, they both went 7 innings. Gonzalez gives up 2 hits, only 1 run, one batter walked. Arias, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk as well. Like, geez, dude, talk about a boring game.
And also,
right, Mike?
Sounds like a game I would have left.
And then just one other note here. Padres get shut out 6-0 against the Brewers. Corbin Burns, 6 innings, no earned, no walks, 10 Ks. So he's another one of those guys. We talked about Woodruff yesterday, underrated, and probably doesn't get enough attention, nationally.
Yeah, no, for sure not. I feel I barely hear his name.
For sure not.
For sure not.
And I think for the Padres,
I feel.
The
Put
Padres,
that on a sticker.
I talked about it
yesterday, and I know yesterday, you're missing Machado, you're missing Tatis. I mean, those are your 2 best players. But with Hosmer, with Myers, with Pham, with Profar, I mean, you should be able to get something on the board.
I know.
And you had a good outing out of Chris Paddock. Only 5 innings, but 107 Ks, 1 walk. So you fall to 10-9, 5-7 at home. But I think the biggest key here is that Tatis is healthy. So, I mean, if he's sitting out yesterday, I don't know, maybe they're reconsidering their strategy with this injury here.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe they're just kind of resting him and, saving him for when they do play the Dodgers or, these other teams that are going to be a little tougher to play against. I mean, I don't know, man. But yeah, you would think they could generate some type of offense. I mean, they got 6 hits, but scored none. Come on, man.
Yeah. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this week for Sunday Night Baseball, it is Dodgers Padres.
Ooh.
So, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but that's obviously going to be a good game.
Yeah, for sure.
You love seeing the competition back in the NL West because the Dodgers have just dominated it feels like 20 years. I think it's probably been about 5-7 at this point?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Seems like they always win it. And I know, Padres are one over 500, but I think they're going to get a lot better as the season goes on. And, obviously, we'll cover it. So looking forward to that down the stretch, and looking forward to, the games today. And actually, again, we got the afternoon games on a Wednesday. Giants, Phillies, 1 o'clock. Orioles, Marlins, 1 o'clock. Pirates, Tigers, 2 o'clock. Astros, Rockies, 3:10. Twins, Athletics, 3:37. Cardinals, Nationals, 4:05. And Rangers, Angels, 4:07. And Brewers, Padres, 4:10. So, I mean, talk about an afternoon slate.
Oh, my God, dude. Loaded afternoon slate. What are we doing today, boys, huh?
So
not some
that.
Baseball.
And then it's funny. You look at it. After 7 o'clock on, there's 3 games. Or 4. 3 games because the Yankees start at 6:35. But I guess in a way it's almost kind of early because people on the East Coast, if they want to watch these national games, they don't want to stay up.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's actually kind of smart. Yeah, I'm not staying up till 12 to watch these West Coast games, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So been an interesting start, and like I said yesterday, I hope that tomorrow in this spot, I'm saying Yankees win, Mets win. Let's go.
Love
Great
that attitude, baby.
Quick break, Grasso NBA.
We just chilling, we just chilling, we just villains. We just chilling, we just chilling, we some villains.
I love it up, get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab a shot on the top of shots, I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes? Simon telling you what to do. Follow my commando, hit in the bando, tap in the bando, not like a Rambo. Rocky, Sylvester, Solo. I'm telling you, I get this money even on my own.
And we are back. What's up, Grasso?
What's up, Barnes? How you doing?
Very good, very good. It was an exciting night in the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls LeBron James at the buzzer.
And the
like we've been saying, day by day, we're getting closer to these NBA playoffs.
Oh,
I can't wait. Should be very exciting. And, we had some good games last night, and we'll go over the ones, we previewed yesterday. The Knicks, again, 109-97 over the Hornets. It's now 7 straight wins for the Knicks, their longest winning streak since 2014. And, they were down 6 at half, and they in the third quarter, they really take advantage, outscore the Hornets by 15 points, and, don't look back from there. So, as we always do, we'll start with Mike. Give us your analysis on this one.
Dude, can I just ask, are you shocked?
Yes.
Right? Like,
no other way to
if
say
you
it.
told me this time last year the Knicks would have a 7-game winning streak at
be
any
the
point
fourth
this year,
seed, be a half game underneath the 4th seed. No, I don't know, man. But this team is really impressive. I was listening to 98.7 ESPN radio this morning. Canty, Humpty, and Rothenberg. Shout out those guys. That's a great show. Omar was saying Tibbs playing the young guys a lot it builds that character to let them go the distance and win close games in the end. You know what I mean? Where it's like usually a coach, doesn't do that. So I'm just really excited with this team. The young guys are stepping up. Knox played big minutes last night, and he didn't play great or whatever, but he was kept in the game, when he didn't do that well, playing defense. So I think that's all Tibbs wants from him right now. And we beat a good Hornets team who honestly is really scary. They just come down and score and can score in bunches, a lot of them. So it was a great win. Tonight's a big test, but I'm just shocked.
Yeah, and that first half was high-powered offense. I don't think anyone expected that coming out. I think the game was like 60-something, 50-something in the first half. And the second half, the Knicks turned the defense on. And that's like what we expect from the Knicks going forward in every game is hard defense, hard to score on, barely give up 100 points every night. And they turned it on in the second half. And that was really the key to the game. Randall didn't shoot the ball very well, but Derrick Rose came in and was really that third guy. And we talked about this. When the Knicks have a third guy that scores for them, they're pretty hard to beat. Quickly also had a pretty nice game tonight. So when they get offense from those guys and then they turn the defense on in the second half, the Knicks, now I'm not surprised that they won 7 in a row because they're tough.
Yeah. They're bringing it from all angles. And how about RJ Barrett, continues the 3-point barrage.
I know.
6 of 11 from 3-point range. That was big for them. And like I had said, being down at half, taking control in the third quarter, I thought it was impressive, especially, you're dealing with, like we said, this Hornets team that competes with everything despite the injuries. Rozier had another solid, 21, 7, and 8. And PJ Washington, 26 points, 6 of 10 from 3. So to be able to go up against that, Bridges had 15 and 14. So the defense, just stepped up and they got, enough offense here to win by a decent amount.
Yeah, and I picked Terry Rozier to have a big game. I thought he was going to be the reason why Charlotte won this game, but the Knicks in the fourth quarter, they just blitzed him. Whenever he got the ball, they doubled him, made him pass the ball, and he was really the one guy for Charlotte that can score with the ball in his hands and make plays. So it really struggled once they got the ball out of his hands. Charlotte kind of got stuck.
And, what a story for the Knicks, with the 7 straight wins. And they have to think to themselves, why not? How far can we run this thing?
Why not?
Can we make history with a streak? And, they're going to be, all hands on deck tonight, against the Hawks, being a half game behind them for 4th place in the East. They're fired up. They're ready to go. And that should be another great game.
Yeah, it's almost like one of the Cinderella stories in March Madness. Like they're playing with nothing to lose because no one expects them to win.
Right.
Like if the Knicks lose in the first round of the playoffs, no one's going to care. It's still a great season.
Oh yeah.
So might as well go for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
And especially because everybody was questioning them after losing 5 of 6, falling a couple games under 500.
I was
This team doesn't quit. Nothing brings them down. It really. There's not enough.
They've really embodied New York City.
Yeah,
honestly.
So Tibbs, it's just Julius Randle, RJ Barrett setting the tone too with the work ethic.
And, I was listening to the Fan this morning, and they were saying, just what a story it would be if somehow the Nets and the Knicks could match up in the playoffs. And, if the Knicks get this 4 seed, 1 versus 4 second round, or I know obviously if Philly hangs on to the 1, especially with the injuries. So, but you never know what can happen. But I would love to see a Knicks Nets playoff series.
2-7.
Yeah,
there's potential. That could happen.
But they're playing so well. Can they make it down to 7?
I don't know. They're looking more of a 4 or 5 game.
What are you? I mean, I know we still got a ways here, Mike. But what are you where do you have them finishing?
I mean, geez, dude. I don't know. Yikes!
It's a dogfight.
I even want to say, I even want to say the 3rd.
Yeah, I mean that would be
the pace they're going. Geez.
Yeah, I mean if they just win out. Imagine if they really just won out. That would be
talk about momentum.
That'd be crazy.
So the Knicks are buzzing right now, and they deserve all the praise that they're getting. So be interesting to see what they do tonight, what they do down the stretch.
Yeah.
And then the other game, we looked at yesterday, we had the Clippers and the Blazers, and when we previewed this game, we didn't know Kawhi, wouldn't be playing. He had the DNP diva, but Paul George did step up. 33 points. He hits the game-winning free throws with 4.8 seconds left. They got some good production out of the bench. Cousins 11-6 in 13 minutes. Rondo 9-6-7 in 22 minutes. So I think those guys are going to even play bigger roles for this Clippers team down the stretch. That's won 9 out of 10 games.
Yeah, I think DeMarcus Cousins. Me and Mike were talking about this before the show. He's probably there because the Lakers have all these big guys after signing Drummond and Harrell and Gasol that. If they want to play big, Cousins could be the guy for the Clippers to come in and counter that a little bit, along with Patrick Patterson maybe. But, with Kawhi out, Paul George has been pretty much amazing. He's had that.
Finally.
He had a stretch in the middle of the season where he wasn't playing well. He said it was his toe.
Yeah.
But he started the season great, and now he's finishing great.
Yeah, he's got his bounce back, too.
He
caught
really
an alley-oop last night. His head was at the rim, his eyes.
I mean.
And he's so hard to stay in front of guarding. He snakes through the offense or the defense so easily, effortlessly.
He looks comfortable.
If he can carry this into the playoff, we can get this Paul George and not the playoff P of the past 2 years.
Yeah.
The Clippers, they got a real chance of winning the championship. And we do rip on Paul George for his playoff performances, but if you go back to the Indiana days, he was actually pretty good in the playoffs. He just ran to LeBron James, your boy. So I think you could appreciate that. It's hard to beat LeBron James.
Not many people can beat him in a playoff series. So you understand that. And I really think, though, honestly, here, Cousins and Rondo, and more so Cousins, Rondo's definitely got some respect after what he did in the playoffs last year. But I think he's being undervalued by the rest of the league. And I get it. I mean, there's just been injury after injury.
Yeah.
But I think he can still play pretty good, honestly.
He definitely can. It's about health with Cousins.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, big body on him.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay healthy for him. But if he can give you 15, 20 minutes of good high-impact basketball every night.
But I wouldn't even stop there. I think next season, I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting playing 30 minutes a game. I mean, obviously, we got to finish out this season healthy, see how he looks. But I just think, he's not 40. I mean, he can come back from this. It wouldn't be the
I mean, how old is Cousins? He's probably barely 30 years old.
I almost think he's not even 30. I want to say I
think he was drafted in 2011.
Or maybe he's 31.
30.
Okay. So
30 years old. Yeah, he's got time.
Yeah.
We saw Melo pretty much out of the league for a little bit, and now he's back playing a huge role in Portland.
And I think what's helped too is, when he came in the league, he wasn't a shooter at all. Now he's a pretty, decent 3-point shooter. So obviously he's going to extend his career. He's
shown that he's willing to adapt his game, play less minutes, and he just wants to be out there, I think, on a good team.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then you look on the other side here, obviously, the Blazers missing Lillard. So, they needed the other guys to step up. I mean, CJ did have 28 points, but only 11 of 26 from the field. Norm Powell chipped in with 23. Melo had 18, but I think he might have been getting a little too trigger happy.
Never.
5 of 18.
Keep firing, Melo.
So
never.
I think it's just, they couldn't overcome that. I mean, it's a 1-point game, so you got to give it to them for competing. I know Kawhi's out, but still a tough spot when you're facing a team that especially with their defense, I mean, just matches up so much better than the Blazers do with them, without Dame especially.
Yeah, and the Blazers, they actually played decent defense tonight, considering they're the Blazers, but when Portland doesn't score like 120 points against a good team, they don't really have a chance because of the defense. And they need Dame back.
And this is their 7th loss in 10 games. So, I mean, I know, guys have been in and out of the lineup. Nurkic didn't play in this one either. Do you guys think any reason for concern here for the Blazers, or they're just kind of going through a tough stretch, injuries and just kind of tough luck?
I do think it's just a little tough stretch. I mean, McCollum and Nurkic just came back, and now Lillard goes down. So it's been up and down, getting a consistent rotation out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, Lillard, we might see him tonight. That's what they're saying. He's going to play tonight.
Right.
We don't know about Nurkic. Do we know about Nurkic?
They haven't said anything.
But if they can get everyone on the court healthy for a few games, I think this team, offensively, they're going to be fine. They're going to be able to score points. Just the defensive end. Can guys like Covington, Derek Jones, can they step up?
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about Portland, but I don't think they're going to make it past the first round, too. I mean, the West is strong.
Because right now they're the 6 at the moment. So the 3 seed now is the Clippers. So
they're not winning that series.
No, as much as I say about the Clippers, I would not pick against them in that series. That's for sure.
And even if they fell, who are they going to face? Phoenix or Utah? I mean, they could win that
Utah,
one of those
series. Feel the
series.
best. Not the Suns. The Suns are not losing. And so we'll see what happens with them. And before we get on to tonight, something that came out after our show ended yesterday, the Nets announced James Harden has the setback. He's not going to play the rest of the regular season. And I know we kind of talked about this before the show, but any reason concern at all? These guys, I guess, have played. I think it's 7 games, all 3 of them. Any concern for them, going into the playoffs?
I mean, I've been waiting for this.
I don't have any concern about them if they're healthy, but
are you concerned that they'll be healthy?
The fact that James Harden is listed out for the rest of the season is a little concerning to me because James Harden's never missed a game in his career that he could physically
He always says,
play.
"I love to hoop."
He's a hooper. Harden is a hooper. If he's healthy, he's playing. So the fact that he's actually out the rest of the season, they're saying this, that's a little worrisome towards him. Mm-hmm. But I'm not worried about Durant at all.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about Kyrie. They'll be fine come playoff times. And if Harden's on the court healthy, I mean, this team's going to be pretty much impossible to stop.
What were you going to say, Mike?
I think it's all smoke and mirrors, Barnesy boy. And I'm not worried about them not playing together. They're all the best players in the world, and they've played with each other since they were in middle school. So I'm not worried at all.
Blind confidence out of Magic Mike over there.
I'm not even a Nets fan, and I'm not worried for them.
Yeah, so I mean,
they'll even have Steve and Amari lace it up and take the East.
Some vintage pick and roll action.
Hell yeah! Show Giannis how to shoot a jumper.
They get a
show them how to set a screen and roll.
They get that 2nd seed, and they get a tough matchup in the first round. They're not going to lose in the first round, but just kind of get kind of bullied around a little bit, and then that's all they got. And then the second round out.
Blake Griffin looked good last night.
Blake Griffin. It was someone shot a 3 and the ball was actually going to go in. Blake got called for goaltending, but he got up. His whole arm was above the rim.
He had a great dunk last night.
Do you think he should kind of just chill with the 3-point shot though?
No, he's getting it right for when Durant and Harden and Kyrie come.
It's almost though. I mean, it's almost just like maybe a step above Giannis taking a 3 though.
No,
Blake is
to the rim though. He doesn't need to shoot threes.
That's I know no one really watched Blake in Detroit because who the hell watches Detroit? But I did watch him a little bit, and that's all he does is shoot.
Yeah,
he doesn't go inside anymore.
But I think that's a mistake though. I mean, he's not a proficient 3-point shooter. I mean, if he was 40%, I would say sure, go for it, but he's not.
Yeah, he goes inside. He's probably scared to get injured in there.
I
know. So interesting storyline. Of course, we'll see what happens. And on to tonight. And we were talking about this before the show. The NBA with these games down the stretch, the last couple of nights, all playoff teams playing. And here we go again. We have the Suns traveling to your Sixers. So this is a high-powered matchup. Suns 41-16, Sixers 39-18. The Suns won the last meeting 120-111 back on February 13th. And they have 18 road wins, which is tied for the most in the West, with actually the Lakers. And right now, they're still in play actually for the number 1 seed. So what do you see, Grasso, in this matchup? And I know we were saying Harris, right, is questionable tonight.
Yeah, Harris questionable. Simmons should be a go. The main guy I'm looking at in this game is DeAndre Ayton. He's coming off a great defensive outing against Giannis, and now he's got the other big boy in the East in Joel Embiid. And on paper, Ayton is, the prototypical defender that you would want to have guard Embiid.
Right.
No one's as strong as him, but I'm seeing if he can contain Embiid a little bit, hold him at least under 30, keep him in check. Then, the Suns definitely have a chance. They're good on the road, and Chris Paul and Devin Booker are going to show up like they do every night. But, the Sixers are really, really tough at home. So this is going to be a battle.
Yeah, 22-6 at home. They've really answered the call there. And, Embiid, we can't talk about it enough. And like I said, I still think, Jokic, he's done so well. You have to give it to him. But there's no reason why Embiid doesn't deserve it either. He's averaging almost 30 points per game, 11.2 rebounds, 1.4 blocks, 1 steal, and shooting 37% from 3. Have we seen somebody really put up those numbers? It's hard to – nothing comes to mind.
Not the way he does it, because he just dominates in the paint like we haven't seen since Shaq.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
right.
And every crazy. Year there's always like 2 guys that really deserve the MVP. And this year is probably going to be Embiid and Jokic. So, it really is a toss-up between those guys.
And then, just thinking, matchup-wise here, what are your thoughts on if they go Tobias on Devin Booker and Simmons on Chris Paul? How do you see that playing out if they go that way?
I think, Tobias is going to be a little too slow for Booker, for Chris Paul as well, if that switches. I think Simmons has to guard Booker, lock him up, and Seth Curry, Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton. They got to just throw
They have some beef, those two, because of, the Jenner.
Oh, they do. Ben Simmons and Booker.
Yeah.
I think they're like good friends though.
And you think if they don't go one of their big guys on Paul, they're just gonna have, like you said, Curry or Thybulle, just try to get Paul tight, like rub up against them.
Well, when they played the Warriors the other night, I know they were missing some guys, but Seth Curry was guarding Steph Curry at least to start the game, and then,
we saw how well that worked out.
And then it did start off okay, but then Steph went off. But Matisse Thybulle is definitely going to play a lot of minutes tonight and guard some of those guys because he's elite defensively. Offensively, he struggles. So, but I think they have the guards that can match up. That's always been the Achilles heel for the Sixers in the past. Defensively, is guarding these small guards. So hopefully, Seth Curry, maybe Danny Green, even a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a little older now. He's not as fast.
Have you been a little impressed just based on what we saw last year with Green this year? He's had some big games.
His shot looks so good this year.
Yeah.
I have been impressed. Historically, he has been a really good shooter his entire career, but seems like every time I watch him, he's throwing up bricks.
And the thing is, you look at it, he was so big for Toronto in their championship run. I think that year he shot 42% from 3. And then just last year, the efficiency just wasn't there. And you figured, he's getting a little older, but he seems back to the old Danny Green that we know.
Yeah, and playing with a guy like Embiid can definitely help that. Embiid's been great at passing the ball out of double teams, something he's struggled with in the past. So, Danny Green's getting a lot of open shots, and he's knocking them down.
Yeah. So, props to him. And, what are your thoughts here? Let's assume Tobias does play. What do you got for this matchup?
I got Sixers in a nail biter. I think they'll win this game maybe, 107, 1103. I think it'll be a pretty low-scoring game. Slow, very, very slow pace.
Right.
This game's probably going to go 3 hours. That's the thing about Joel Embiid. He gets to the free throw line 15 times a game. The games last forever. But
and you have to wonder, there's a little contact. Does Chris Paul get maybe teed up, possibly? You never know.
Yeah, I don't expect this to be a very clean game. There's going to be some barking.
Embiid should be talking.
Embiid will definitely be talking.
What do you see here, Mike?
I see a game winner, and I hate to say it, but by Devin Booker.
Wow.
Yeah, but great game by Embiid. Teaches the young boy a lesson. Eaton.
Yeah, and
I think the Suns are going to keep it rolling. I think they're coming out the West. But
this really, could be an NBA Finals.
I was just going to say potential Finals matchup here.
2 of the best teams in the league, and I think honestly it's so close that I just have to go with the home team, especially because the Sixers are so good at home. The Suns are great on the road, but I don't know. The Sixers seem like they take their game to the next level at home, and I just have this vision actually of Seth Curry hitting a 3 at the buzzer. I think this is going to be just as exciting as the Suns Bucks game we had the other night. I don't know if it's going to go to overtime or not, but final possession, stars on the court. I can't wait to watch this.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped for this game.
So this should be a good one. And then the other game we got tonight, a lot of star power here. We got the Nuggets traveling to the Blazers, and the last time we had this matchup,
Nuggets won 111-106 back on February 23rd. And they did have the day off yesterday, but before that, we know they had that big double overtime win against the Grizzlies. They've won 8 out of 10. They're 17-10 on the road. I mean, we've talked about, it's concerning, obviously, losing Jamal Murray, but they're just hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to Jokic. I mean, he's keeping this team afloat. I mean, I thought Jamal Murray is like that. He's the second guy that kind of runs this team, and Jokic doing great without him. But Damian Lillard's back in the lineup tonight, at least we hope.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Nuggets having enough guard play to keep up with Dame and CJ and Norman Powell now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a 50 burger might be in place for Dame tonight.
Yeah. I mean, as long as the hammy's right.
As long as the hammy's right.
Hamstring injuries are tricky.
Yeah, especially for a shooter, too. Getting that lift and that jump shot's going to be a little tougher with the hamstring injury, but it's Dame time.
Yeah.
I never bet against that guy.
And then, just thinking about this, I mean, we talked about Jokic. I mean, is he lined up here for another huge game? I mean, it looks like, you would think Enes Kanter is going to be guarding him. I mean, we know how he plays defense, and Mike knows
he doesn't.
Yeah, Knicks. He's great. No, he's a good defender.
But I mean, I honestly could see,
like a 50-point triple double.
Yeah. I mean, I really could. I mean, he's not going to be able to. It's crazy, though, that Kanter did grab 30 boards in a game earlier this season.
Kanter's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, and he's pretty big and strong. He doesn't look – he's pretty lean, but I think they list him at like 265.
Yeah, he's strong.
Got some strong hips. He boxes out good.
I think this game is important for the Nuggets too, because, right now, they're in the 4 seed, looking outside on that 3 seed and even in play for a 2 seed. So, I mean, you do get the win tonight, and then they actually have, a very manageable schedule coming up. So I would just be kind of curious to see how high if they get a win tonight, how far they can go up in the standings.
You just hate the Clippers, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's the tone.
No, but I really
they're 2.5 games back of the Clippers for the 3rd seed.
But that's not crazy. I mean,
the Clippers are going to have to lose some games.
Well, I mean, they got guys sitting out left and right, so I don't, you know what I mean? And then, like we've been talking about, they are due to have a game where they don't show up. It's been a pretty long time since they've had, one of those games. And
we thought that might have been last night, though. And, they came out.
Well, Paul George, kind of against all odds, really came up in the clutch. And you just look at this schedule for Denver. After this, they're going to play the Warriors, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, and the Raptors. So, I mean, obviously Toronto and Houston, I mean, those are some of the worst teams in the league this year. Golden State, of course, you never know with Curry. But I think they're just all games where they kind of, have an advantage, and you wouldn't be surprised if they were to just sweep that slate the way they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could. But still, for them to get to the 3, then the Clippers are going to have to lose 3 of their last 5 of those next 5 games too. So,
but guess who they're playing Saturday, May 1st, 10 o'clock ESPN at the Clippers.
What, they're going to spank the Lakers?
Well, no, they're playing the Clippers, but then 2 days later, they do play the Lakers again on ESPN, and then they play the Knicks, the Jazz, and the Nets. So after this easy stretch, that should kind of get them ramped up for the playoffs. And if they were to win those games, I mean, that'll really make the difference. But, I mean, you got to do it, but they've done it up to this point. So it's going to be interesting.
And if they do that, then Jokic can have that MVP trophy.
Yeah.
He would have deserved that at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one other thing on the Nuggets here, any shot we see Bull getting some more minutes, he's only played 10 minutes or more 3 times the whole season. I think he's played in like 23 games. Are we due for this?
I mean, I think Mike wants to see that.
I mean, can we please? I mean, if there's any time, it's now. It's the end of the season. Just give him some runs. See if you could use him in the lineup in the playoffs at least.
Play him against Houston.
And as good as we've applauded the Denver organization, the front office for the job they've done, but are they dropping the ball here with him? Not, I know, Mike was saying, maybe they don't want to show or whatever.
He said in the beginning of the year, he said he wanted to win most improved player or rookie of the year. I'm sorry, rookie of the year.
Bull.
Yeah, but he's not even getting any time.
No, and I think the Nuggets, I think they want to win a championship this year, and I don't think Bull is part of that rotation right now, but he is definitely part of the future with this team. Him, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic and Murray. I mean, those guys, they want locked up.
I guess I just don't see the harm in having him be the last guy off the bench.
I know.
I don't see it either, but apparently, Coach Malone likes JaMychal Green a little bit better.
Oh my God. So, and then, we talked about it, when we were talking about their game from last night, the Blazers are reeling. Would you guys say they really need this victory to kind of get things going in the right direction after having this tough stretch?
I'm not going to say it's a must win, but I mean, if the Blazers keep losing, I mean, that does not look good for them going into the playoffs. I mean,
might be playing time.
They might be, luckily for them, Dallas kind of struggling a little bit too, who's in that 7th seed, but Portland needs to get some wins, and Dame coming back, that should help. Right. Definitely will help. So hopefully he leads them to a victory tonight.
And speaking of that, I mean, what's your prediction here?
I think the Blazers are going to win. High scoring game. I'll give you like 122-110 Blazers.
Okay. And what do you got here, Mike?
Yeah, I'm gonna go a 50-point triple double from Jokic with a game-winning step back Dirk shot.
Damn. Wow. I think the Nuggets actually win this one handily. I'm going to say 120-105. And like Mike said, triple-double for Jokic. Maybe not 50, but I'll give him 37.
He's going to have a big night. That's for sure.
I mean, against Cantor, how could he not have a big night? So, I think it's going to be a really interesting night, in the NBA. And, I'm just really looking forward to see what storylines play out down the stretch here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff left still to be determined, throughout the rest of this season.
Where we're past that stale point of the NBA when no one really cares, the whole middle of the season. We're at the end. People are fighting for playoff position. Playoffs are coming.
Yeah.
Basketball is getting exciting again.
Absolutely. And, we mentioned it before, the Knicks, back in action again tonight. They'll look to go to 8 straight wins, hosting the Hawks. Any initial thoughts here, Mike, on this matchup?
This is a big game for the Knicks. They're half game back, like you said. I just see I just see the streak going. Keep it going. I just think the Knicks are more motivated than any other team right now.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Mike on that. I mean, Atlanta's playing really good, better than I thought they were going to play all year.
Yeah.
And so they're tough, but, New York is rolling. And like Mike said, they win this game, and that puts them a half game in front of Atlanta in the 4th seed. So I think New York takes this game too.
Thibs coach of the year.
I do think this is going to be a close game, honestly. I think this is going to be right down in the
4th seed.
Yeah, me too.
I think New York takes this game too.
Thibs coach of the year. Sorry.
But I honestly think this is going to come down to the buzzer, and I know I keep doing it. This is probably the last time I'm going to do this because they keep proving me wrong. But I am going to go Hawks here. I am going to go Trae Young at the buzzer.
Why are you going against the Knicks back-to-back days?
In IQ's face. And I think Young, who's lacked those, big star type of games, is going to go for 40 tonight and hit 10 triples. So
yeah, we'll see about that, buddy.
We're looking forward to it.
Reggie Bullock's got the clamps ready.
I'll see you in the group text.
See you there.
But anything else anybody had to add in the world of sports here?
Nothing.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, what more could you add? I mean, I feel like we covered it all.
I think so.
So I would like, to thank everybody for joining us, here on Optimum and Frontier. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.
Yeah.